What's up, guys? Corey and Joey here. We are interviewing a very special guest from independent developer Frozen Machine, Adrian Neito. How's it going, sir?
Hello. How's everyone doing?
We are great. We are great. We've
Oh,
been
thank you for having me.
we've been talking about this for a while, and finally we got
Yes, it's been yeah, like a month or so now,
yeah
I think.
yeah. How's everything going?
Going. It's a lot of craziness happening right now. We're preparing ourselves for a demo soon, so it's a lot of work, a lot of sleepless nights, basically.
That's exciting. I wish
Yeah.
I wish I was smart enough to develop a game. I've been trying to tell Joey to do it for me because he's the smart one of the group.
There you
I probably could work at it, but it would probably take even more sleepless nights than he's probably going through right now from me. So
go.
Joey, you don't sleep at night anyway.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there you go.
I
That's the
sleep
first requirement.
You're just playing instead of working.
right.
Chop chop.
Well, who else is
that-
gonna play my games for me?
Get that
I'll play them.
JRPG going that we talked about at work the other day.
Boy.
All right. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, the Frozen Machine is an independent developer, and Adrian has been so kind as to come on our show to talk about their. This is your first game, correct?
This is gonna be your first commercial game, yes.
Awesome, awesome. But first of all, we wanna learn about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what kind of games you like, what you play, stuff like that.
Well, again, I'm Adrian Neito, and I don't know, 26, from Edmonton, Canada. Me and a couple of friends decided to get together and start this indie company. And yeah, I mean, what I like, I'm a big Nintendo fanboy. I'm wearing a Mario hat right now, so that kind of it's a tell there. My apartment looks more of a Nintendo World Store than probably the actual Nintendo World Store, so that tells you something right there already. I have more amiibo than them, so that's already something.
Probably true.
Yeah, no, I do. Trust me. So yeah, that's me.
So, where'd you get your start in gaming? What was your first console or first system?
So the first system my parents got for me and my brother was a Sega Genesis. So it was, man, this is sad, but I was a Sega boy growing up. I mean, it's not sad. It's just
No, it's.
I miss.
I mean, it's
I
sad
miss.
looking back now because it's like
Yeah,
I kind of
exactly.
wish they kept going with it, but they just kind of fell
Yeah,
off.
I'm missing so many other stuff though. But yeah, no, it was a Sega Genesis. Our first game was Streets of Rage, which is a 2.5D beat 'em all,
Okay.
which me and my brother like played all the time. Of course, that was the only game we had.
It's
So
like the Sega ripoff of Double Dragon. It's the best.
yeah, actually, you know what? If you play Streets of Rage, I think it's actually better than Double Dragon. It's a little more fair too. It's not as hard as Double Dragon either. So. But yeah, it was a Sega Genesis all the time. Going to Blockbuster to rent games. Sonic, of course. I mean, well, you need to play Sonic if you have a Genesis. So yeah, that was my first system, and I'm still sad about that.
Ugh.
So, what would you say was your favorite game of all time then? That's a loaded question.
It's
Yeah,
not loaded. There's only like
Okay,
6 million games.
yeah. So you try to give me the name of my favorite game of all time? I got to sit there for like 5 minutes thinking about that question.
You know my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
which is your favorite game of all time?
Twilight Princess. It's the
Okay.
best.
Because he's weird.
I'm not.
I don't think I can pinpoint an actual favorite game. I have favorite video game series, like Metroid, of course, Pokemon. It's been with me since I was 8, 9. Smash Brothers was the reason I made most of my friends today. Uncharted is the one Sony IP that holds my heart. Like I can't wait for Uncharted 4, and I'll get it and then I'll cry because I don't have the money to get a PS4. And I'll figure something out and buy a PS4. So we'll see about that. But the game that has been the most influential for me is Megaman X on Super Nintendo.
Great
I
game.
will probably put that on the top. If I have to pick just one, it will probably be that one. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Mega Man X. What a great game.
I honestly can't say I've played that Mega Man game. I think the only one I've ever played was one for like the Game Boy Advance, and I think it was like one of the later ones. So I missed out on the whole Mega Man train, the hype and all that. But
Joe, you're missing out.
yeah, I know. I'll have to go back and play them at one point.
It's like $8 on the Wii U. Just to get that.
Well, I have to get a Wii U in the first place then, and that's.
Oh God, no! Now you're killing me.
Joe, you have a PS4. Just get the Mega Man X collection.
Oh yeah, is
Or
that?
the Legacy collection. Not Mega Man X, the Mega Man Legacy collection. My bad.
Yeah,
Maybe.
get that. Get on
I'll
that.
probably have to.
It's
Well-
great.
So, what games are you playing now then?
Right now, I'm actually jumping through a lot of games. Again, because of the time constraint that I'm normally on, I jump between one game and another. Right now, I'm playing Paper Mario on the N64. I'm playing the Virtual Console release on Wii U, mostly because I have the gamepad by my bed. So before I sleep, I just turn it on, play a couple of hours, and then fall asleep. I'm also playing a Paper Mario Thousand Year Door on GameCube. That's hooked up on my actual TV, so I play that from time to time. Pokemon Yellow on the bus, now that I have the 3DS release, basically. And Counter-Strike Global Offensive with my friends. That's probably the one game that I'm playing the most right now.
It's a Counter-Strike.
Just like you.
I was playing that, and I was like, man, I just would really rather be playing Destiny right now. So,
I know. If I'm honest, I really want to play Destiny.
yeah.
I
It's,
don't know what that was about, but I'm back.
Joey, you're back.
Yeah, you lost me for a second. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Anyway.
It's okay.
This sound is a little weird now, though.
Yeah, you do sound a little bit weird.
Is it getting better?
Oh,
Oh, you sound good now.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I guess my internet just crapped out on me for a second. Anyway.
Stupid internets.
Yeah.
you want me to repeat the answer, or?
No, I think I got the most of it.
Okay.
I think because then I think the only part I lost was whatever you talked about Destiny there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Comparing Counter-Strike to Destiny.
Oh,
I'm exactly like for it right now.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Counter-Strike. That's one game I could never bring myself to tackle. Like there's just so much to learn to that game, and it just seems so complex that it's just.
It is extreme, and we play competitive matches, right? So,
Yeah.
like, we're trying to rank up, and of course, I have the least hours on the game. So, while all my friends have like 1,500 plus hours, I have, I think, 250 last time I checked.
Wow.
So there's a big
Right,
big gap
right.
there. But yeah, now we play every other night. We're trying to rank together all the time. There's at least 3 of us playing at any given time, and yeah, I mean we do our best. They normally carry me with like 23 kills them, and I have like 8.
Sounds like me.
I'm helping, so
Yeah, at least you're
That's
not.
good.
At least you're getting some kills. You know, that's all.
exactly.
Plus-
There you go. So yeah, better than nothing.
That's awesome. Oh, man, I cannot wait to play Destiny tonight.
You have an addiction, and
I
it's
do. I
a strange
can't help it.
addiction because it's like a game you've played for a long time already, and to the point where it was almost boring, and you're still getting back into it.
Hey, I took 2 months off, and I'm ready to play again. I'm scratching that itch, and I'm playing with my cousin and playing with a couple of guys from work, and I'm just like, yep, I'm in.
There you go.
All right, so enough, I guess, with your personal life. We'll get into a little bit more about your indie development. So you're a part of the Frozen Machine. How did you get started, and who are your partners?
So, my partners are it's me and 2 other guys. Alex Hillhouse, who is an artist, a designer, and is probably the coolest guy on the team. It's just the way it is. There's also Ray Lawson, who is, a fantastic guy. It's very smart programmer, computer engineer. He also does music, sound effects for games, and he's tackling pretty much everything of the business side of things right now. So I mean, I really appreciate that he's doing that because running a business is not easy.
Right.
Trying to get everything going, it's hard and boring for the most part. So yeah, and how we got started was we started school, the three of us at the same time, here at Nate, which is a college, of course. We started doing a game development certificate that they were offering. It was a 2 year thing, and we started there at the same time. Our first class, I will never forget this. It was Introduction to Game Design, and our instructor was none other than the lead combat designer at BioWare for Mass Effect 3.
Oh,
So
man.
that was like mind blowing, right? Like you
Ah,
cannot ask for a better teacher for your introduction to game design. Like it's such an
Right.
important thing, and he was like our guy there, right? So it was an amazing experience, and sadly Nate took a lot longer than we were expecting. It was supposed to be again like a 2 year thing. It took 3 years, going very close to a fourth. Uh, but yeah, like throughout the entire course, we're always talking like, well, what would you like to do, right? And of course, Bioware is here in Edmonton where we live, so it was one of the obvious choices, right? It was okay if you want to be a game designer or something, you go to Bioware. That's the company to go to here, right?
Right.
So I think me and Alex, for the most part, were always thinking, "Huh, let's go to Bioware." I was kind of hesitant at the beginning, but I thought, the experience may actually prove helpful. And I applied a couple of times. I got to a couple of interviews, and I think the thing that I learned the most when I was there during that interview was like, man, I have nothing to show. You know what, like what I mean, it's always nerve-wracking to go to an interview and you
Right.
present your resume and you're always thinking like, man, what if I'm like not good enough for this position, right? But when you're applying for most jobs, you present your resume and you talk to a person, and for the most part it goes well and you get a job, right? It's not the same with a game studio. It's a very competitive field. Everybody's looking for the same jobs. So and I remember this. I was being interviewed and they were in this like very big room. Another guy was also getting interviewed, like literally at the same time in the same big room. And I remember just hearing like kind of far away. He was like, "Oh no, yeah, like I've been me and two other friends. We've been working on a couple of games." And he had a tablet and he was showing the game. So I was like, "Yep, nope, this is not gonna happen. I'm not getting hired. That like I just know it."
Right.
And that was a very good experience. It taught me like if I want to aim bigger, I have to start somewhere. I have to just do things for myself and have something to show. And it put me right on the track that I always wanted to be. I always wanted to be a indie game developer. I just kind of lost track of that somewhere, just by going to school and stuff. So yeah, it was a good experience. And by the end of Nate, we just started talking. It's like, man, like, we've been doing a lot of projects together. Maybe we should, give this a try. Let's just start a business together. And we did. We started doing more projects together, and we had very good chemistry. Again, Alex is an artist. He has very good ideas. While Rayford is like a very good programmer and he handles music. I'm also a programmer, so the three of us were always like complementing each other, right? We're bouncing ideas around, and we, actually for school projects, we did well. We had some really cool things to show.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you said you've always wanted to be an indie game developer. Have you like how far back does that go? Like since you were
Uh,
designing Mario levels on graph paper like I was when I was a kid or
I can pinpoint to the exact moment, and I've talked about this a couple of times already. But when I was around six, this was 1995, maybe 96, and I went to my cousin's place. They were very big gamers. They were 5 years older than me, So of course they had, always the newest stuff, and they were always aware of which games to play and stuff like that, right? So I went to their place one time, this tiny little 6-year-old, and they were playing Megaman X, and they were, almost at the end. In spoilers, I know, sorry, but I gotta say spoilers.
Spoilers for a 20-year-old game coming up.
Exactly. No, but anyway, yeah, they were almost at the end, on which Mega X is fighting Bile, and Zero is captured. Then Zero escapes from the cage, attacks Bile, and basically explodes, taking Bile's like power up out of him, so X can defeat him. And my cousins were like, "Oh, dude, like grab the controller and press A quickly so Zero can protect X." And I was a kid; I didn't even know any better, right? So I thought it was an actual thing. So I just started pressing A like crazy, just like oh maniac. And for the life of me, I swear the controller wasn't even plugged in. I know it wasn't even plugged in. They were just tricking me, right? But that moment when I saw that scene, it, like just click. I knew this is where I wanted to be. I knew this is what I wanted to do, and ever since then, it's six. When I was six, it's been 20 years in the making, but I'm finally in the right track, and I'm doing it right.
That's awesome. Now, this is gonna sound like a dumb question, but I'm gonna elaborate on it.
Okay.
Is it hard? Now, before you laugh, I mean, like, I follow you guys on Instagram,
Yeah.
and it's like it always every time you guys post something, it's like it looks like you guys are having a great time. You guys are always like posting jokes in the 30-day drawing challenges and stuff. Like that stuff always looks fun, but like, is it when you get down to it and you guys are actually doing the work, programming, drawing, and doing stuff like that, is how like taxing is it? Like, is it still fun to you because this is your indie project, or is it? I mean, because you guys don't have like the pressure of like a big company harkening down on you for a deadline or anything. But I mean, do you guys make those things for yourself, and you guys have to have this done by this date and stuff like that?
So yeah, we set our own timelines basically, right? And we said like, hey, by this time we have to get this done, and like this part of the game must be completed. So that varies, right? Sometimes we don't meet the deadline, and we like jump ahead. It's like, hey, well, no, we were shooting more than we could tackle, and then we like move the deadline somewhere else. But for the most part, we try to stick to a schedule, right? So, for example, right now we're working on a demo that we're presenting a couple of days. We're going to a university here in town, and just with a brand new demo of the game, people they can play and give us a feedback. We're gonna give them like a $5 gift card to a coffee house here, and just 5 minutes for $5 basically. That's how we calling it. Just to get some feedback and make changes before we publish, because we are going to comic convention here in town at the end of April. So like the game must be done
Yeah.
that time, right? It has to be published on iOS. It has to be published on Android. Has to be fully ready, and that's our deadline. And now you could think like, well, but that's still ways down the road, right? But it's not though, right? There's so much going on that even a month, which may seem like a lot, it's really not. It's not.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
it is really hard. It's challenging, but it's always fun, right? Especially when we're starting a new project, it's always the brainstorming session, right? It's bouncing ideas. Like you see like a theme or something, and okay, what can we do with this word? And then we like it starts evolving and launching ideas around, and okay, coming up with like an art style, and then how is the gameplay gonna go? And then it gets really tiresome when you're like programming and things are not working, and you've been at it for like 2 weeks straight, and it's like, like why is this not going well? But the moment they do is
Yeah.
such a rewarding feeling. So
Yeah.
it's always fun, but it's incredibly tiresome for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a blast. Like I've always wanted to get into some sort of game development, but I always felt like okay, there's game artists, but then there's like I always feel like I'm not smart enough. Like I'm not good enough at math to do the programming, or I'm not good enough at that aspect. But I've always wanted to be like the artist. But I don't know. I haven't actually moved forward with that idea. But I'm. It's awesome that you guys are actually getting there, and you said your first game was coming out soon, and it's exciting.
Yeah, no, it is. And just like a word of advice for everyone that is listening, there is many areas for game development. I For the longest part I didn't know what they were, and of course I studied computer engineering, thinking, "Hey, I need to be a programmer to make games." Like that's not true, though, right? You can just be an artist. There's like many very good frameworks out there that will allow you do a lot of things with very little. There is like RPG Maker. There is what's this game that was Undertale was made with a different engine. I think it was like Twine or something like that. And Twine, what it is, it's mostly scripting stuff, right? It's you put dialogue and it branches out to something, and you make the decision. Okay, if player does this thing, then it goes here, right? So there are many tools available, and there are many areas. So if you want to be an artist and you want to, maybe make games, just start like drawing stuff, right? Just start coming up with ideas, start putting together things, and then use something like RPG Maker and just play around with that for a while. Uh, I mean, it can work, right? Or you may bring it may come to someone else's attention what you're doing, and a programmer will go and say like, "Hey, like I love the art style that you're doing. Would you like to like work with me?" and something like that. Or another game studio will maybe look you for your art, right? Like there are many programmers out there, but whether it's not is artists. Artists are super incredibly hard to find. So if you're doing cool stuff, someone is gonna approach you. Like I guarantee that. So
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Joe, you have the next question.
So you actually mentioned a little bit about different engines and whatnot for games and what development of them. So what kind of engine are you using to develop your game? And was this a hard choice to choose that one, or did you guys kind of just know right off the bat which one you?
well, when we start school, we're using something called XNA, which is a Microsoft framework that it doesn't exist anymore because Microsoft just killed it.
Yeah.
So we started with that, and we thought that's what we were gonna use for the longest time. Um, then we had more classes and stuff like that, and we were introduced to Unity. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Unity. There's so many games
Yeah.
being done
Yeah.
with Unity right now, and they're very good games too, right? So during those classes, we were like, "Oh, this seems kind of fun. Let's see where it goes." We also participated in an event called the Indie Speedrun 2.0, I believe that was the second edition. Indie Speedrun was kind of like a game jam. You had 48 hours to make a game with a specific theme, and we had like 12 hours of Unity experience between the three of us. So we were like, well, do we want to tackle this? And I was like, let's give it a try. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? And we did, and we actually came up with a game called The Crusader. If you go to thefrostymachine.com, you can actually play The Crusader right there. It's buggy sometimes. It makes no sense other times, but it's ours, right? And we did that, and it was only 48 hours with little to no experience on Unity. And after that, it was just like, yep, this is what we're using. We've been like thinking sometimes like, well, what about Unreal or what's the other one? Frostbite, I think. And there is another one, the one that they did Crisis with.
Like the Cry Engine.
CryEngine, thank you. Yes, which I think it was last year, maybe it was late 2014. They started to become with this like paid membership program, on which like for indie studios is actually quite good because you pay little to nothing a month, and you get the license and you get all the tools and stuff like that, and you can publish the game and you don't pay them royalties if your game doesn't sell more than like a specific amount, right? So for a while there, we were like thinking like maybe we should switch engines or whatnot, but we were with Unity so much already that we didn't really see the point.
Yeah.
Now the other beautiful thing about Unity is that it exports to Xbox One, 360, PS3, PS4, Vita, Wii U, new 3DS, PC, Mac, Linux, like
Everywhere.
everything,
Right.
everywhere. Yes. So it was at the end, it was a no-brainer, right? It was like we shouldn't be even thinking about changing. Let's just go with Unity.
Is it when you're looking at an engine, do the engines like I'm not very smart, and Joey probably is gonna laugh at me, but when you're looking at engines and stuff, do they all have like the same like basic tools, or do you have to like is each one different? Like Unity has a very different set of tools than say Unreal or CryEngine.
Yeah, they do. It's kind of hard to just draw like a comparison chart right now. But for example, Unreal was made mostly for like multiplayer games, right? So like the multiplayer aspect of Unreal Engine is very strong, right? It's something that you know is gonna work and is for the most part is hassle free. While Unity is it's not as easy to enter into the multiplayer aspect of game development with Unity. If you look at something like CryEngine, for example, CryEngine is very powerful graphics wise and a strong candidate if you want to make first person shooter games, for example, right? Unity was, I want to say, the easiest to get into from like a programming perspective to an art perspective to importing things to playing with sound and like all those little things, right? So I mean, there's gonna be a point on which maybe Unity. I mean, this is looking way into the future, of course, but we may reach a point on which we say like, "Hey, Unity is not working for us anymore," right? Like, if we want to take our game to the next level, we're gonna need to change engines, and we'll switch to something else. We'll look where our games are, what we want to make in the future, and maybe change. But for an introductory level, Unity, is the way to go, really.
So like Unity is kind of like I don't want to say like baby's first engine because obviously it's really
That
hard
will
to
be
use.
RPG Maker.
Yeah. I was
But like if you're like serious about game development, but you don't have maybe the resources to have like something bigger or make your own engine, it would be Unity's kind of the way to go.
Yep, 100%. It's free to download, free to use. You can even publish for free, which is fantastic, right? Like, we don't have to worry about paying an extra license if we want to publish on Apple devices or Android or PS4 or anything like that, right? It's Unity. It's free to publish and deploy to any of those platforms. And the only thing they have is that if you don't buy a license, you see a splash screen at the beginning of your game that says Unity. That's all there is.
Hmm.
Nothing else. And we're okay with that.
Yeah.
We don't have the money right now, sadly, to spend money buying. How much is Unity right now? I think it's like 1,500. Yeah, $1,500 on one license, right? So
Sounds about right.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna start talking about your game,
yes.
Tuna Cycle. Joe, you have that first question.
All right. So I guess tell us what's in this crazy game land. Like, what exactly is Tuna Cycle? I guess what kind of game is it, and where is it taking place? I guess.
All right. So Tuna Cycle was a very interesting project the way it came to life. Coming up with ideas is very easy. You can be, going on the bus somewhere to work or something, and you'll think of a game idea, you write it down, and you can go with it, right? Which is kind of how Tuna Cycle happened. Rayford was in very boring meeting at his old job, and he's just like drawing on a pad, and he started drawing like a tuna, and he put a top hat on the tuna, and then he draw a unicycle, and he was like, huh, okay, all right. So yeah, Tuna Cycle is an infinite runner for mobile devices.
Okay.
um if we want to get into the story a little bit, it's it's a love story to some extent. The characters in Tuna Cycle are Luis and Louise, which are lovers that are getting ready to go on a date, and you start, going on your way there, collecting uh, different things to make yourself look what fancier for your tuna date. Um, the twist is though it's an infinite runner. Will you ever meet your date? And this is something that I used to say it as a joke, but now people are starting to come to me and say like, "Hey, hold on, they're never gonna meet." And I'm like, "Yes, dude. So that's like life." I'm like, "Hold on, hold on, what?" Like, well, think about it. Like, you know how hard it is to meet your soulmate? I was like, "Holy, all right, you're taking it up to another place, but totally works." So that's it's really funny how our silly game of a fish riding a unicycle
It's got some real life
with a
symbolism.
top hat. Yeah, exactly. It's making people think of how it can compare to life. It's like, oh no, yeah, Luis and Luis are very relatable characters. I'm like, wow, I wasn't expecting that, but that's very cool. I'm very happy that you think that.
That's hilarious. Okay, so you actually kind of answered my next question: is what is the story of this game, and both how you came up with it and how the story works in the game. But something I want to talk about. You said it's an endless runner. So can you give us any idea of like gameplay mechanics? Have you done anything different with the endless runner type genre?
So there are many endless runners out there on both Android and iPhone devices, or Apple devices, sorry, which are mostly, if you look at some of the most popular ones, there's like Temple Run, Sonic Dash is another very popular one, which is mostly just swipe left, right, down if you want to slide, or up if you want to jump, and that's pretty much about it. We wanted this game to be just a tiny little different. So we're actually using tilt controls for this, and some people kind of get worried when you mention tilt controls. But man, since the early days of the PS3, like gyroscopes have come a very long way, and they're very good in even like very cheap tablets. So if you have like a good device, you'll have like an amazing gyroscope in the thing. So yeah, it's tilting. You're basically trying to balance out your tune in the unicycle, because of course he's gonna fall if you don't help him. And there's like slopes and falls that you have to like take care of. So you always have to balance out how he's like handling those turns and ups and downs. There's other stuff that may come up on the way, like tumbleweeds that you have to jump over, or maybe like a fish hook that you have to avoid. So it's very fun. It's very interesting. We did a small focus group, and we had amazing results. People were really enjoying the game. We put a $20 gift card up for grabs to whoever set the high score. And there was this one guy, I didn't even notice that he was still playing. He played for like 2 hours straight, just going back and forth trying to get the highest score. And he got, I think, like 1,010 points. And I was like, man, that is insane. And yeah, the I think the guy that got the closest to him got somewhere around 900 and something. I was like, all right, so we have something good here. If people are playing it for this long and they're always trying to get a high score, I think we're going somewhere with this. So
Yeah, it looks like at first When you first brought the Frozen machine to my attention, I was like, let's watch this trailer. I was like, it looks kind of ridiculous because it's a tuna on a unicycle, and like I really like the visuals in the trailer though. Like, are you sticking with the black and white kind of
Yeah.
thing? Awesome. And then I kept watching. I was like, I went back to there's this little part where like the tuna's actually riding the unicycle. I was like, I can see how this game is going to probably take over someone's bus ride and probably make them miss their stop because it looks fun. Like it looks ridiculously fun. So so you are going to keep that visual aesthetic from the trailer.
Yeah. So when Rafer was drawing the initial art style for the game, he was just thinking of like old timey stuff, right? Like a top hat and a monocle, maybe like a fancy cane or bow tie and stuff like that, right? And then Alex, and I can't even say how every time we try to challenge Alex or artist to do something, he always goes the extra mile and he always comes back with something that we weren't even thinking, right? So he started doing like a good research on all like very old cartoons, right? So Oswald, the original Oswald cartoon was one of those. He started to go into like the 30s and then like Hanna Barbera and went back again. And like the art style for this is very over the top, very like with the animations you can see how they're when I put this on quote feeling. So when you're like tilting down and the tune is about to fall, he like opens his eyes like, oh no, and like he can start to flapping around a little bit because he feels like he's falling, and then you like balance him back, he's like starts to relax again, and then he starts to fall back and gets freaked out again. So yeah, man, like he studied for the art style for a long time, and he just started doing the art, and without we realizing it, it was like this is even better than we were expecting, and we just ran with the idea of let's make all this as a silent movie, just black and white with text that it showcases the story of old school silent movies, right? And then I got the idea of I don't know even where I got it from, but I started thinking like maybe we should make like a full trailer for this. So I started to put in something together. Like I started drawing some like story arcs real quick, and I was just gonna do it by myself without showing them, and then showing them the result. But of course, that's not how things work in a group. You have to be communicative. So I showed them the idea, and I pitched the idea. They were like all over the place about that, and I was like, all right, let's go with this. So I went to iMovie and started putting things together on Photoshop and started writing things, and then record the gameplay on the tablet. And by the end, it was like, man, I'm very very much proud of this trailer that we put together, and it's only a minute and I think 9 seconds long, and I'm just so happy. I take a look at it every time I get a chance, and I probably like present it to everyone I meet. It's like, yeah, no, look at my baby. Look, like a parent showing pictures of their new kid. So yeah, it's very cool, and I think the art style is gonna be the one thing that attracts people to play it. And once they download it and start playing it, they're gonna get hooked by the gameplay, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Was that pun intended? Because it's a
Yes,
fish.
yes, it totally was. We have a lot of fish puns on the game. I mean, the game is called Tuna Cycle, a cartoon about love, and yeah,
I was to say, I feel like the way the type of game this is, it's a tuna riding a unicycle. It's got to have a little bit more comedy in there.
there's so many puns. Like even on the code, there's some puns there too. It's just fantastic.
So, what made you decide to put this game on, Android and iPhones and make it a mobile game instead of maybe, a console game or something like that?
Well, this is gonna be our first commercial release. On our website, again, firstmachine.com plug. Um, we have a couple of games that we work when we were in school, which are fine. They're just we can't really publish them for many different reasons. So when we're thinking, okay, we can't just start making Zelda. That's not how things work.
Right.
That you can start making something really big. As much as you want to make something really big, you have to start somewhere, right? So we decided, okay, let's work on something simpler that will get us going, and something that can be delivered a lot faster than like a big project. Hopefully something that will give us some revenue, so we can keep going with the business. And what is the platform on which the entry point is the lowest? And that's mobile devices, right? It's
Right.
to get an Apple developer license or an Android developer license is cheap for the most part, right? And everyone has a phone. Like everyone has a smartphone. You either have a Samsung or an LG or an iPhone or on an iPad or a tablet or whatever, right? So it was a no brainer, really. It was the way to go. Now I would like to bring this to other platforms. I think because of the gamepad, it will work really well on the Wii U. Maybe it will work on the Neo 3DS as well. It's something to see. It's not on the plans right now, but I would like it. If I mean, it's been my dream to be on Nintendo license forever. So if I can publish a game on a Nintendo platform, that's all I need.
I would definitely buy it. I would buy a new 3DS if you publish this on Nintendo.
Thank you.
I will buy it.
Thank you.
The day that game comes out, heading to Target. New 3DS, please.
There you
Are
go.
we plugging for Target now?
No,
Oh, okay.
I wish, but
At Target on Twitter. No.
anyways, I mean, you talked about considering other platforms and choosing mobile because everybody has a mobile device. What do you see as the future of the Frozen Machine? Do you obviously like the big dream goal is to obviously expand and do a console game, but this game, this is your first commercial. What do you see as your next project and kind of beyond this project?
So, and this is funny. We have a list of, I believe the last count was around 35 different game ideas or concepts that we have.
Jeez.
And yeah, we have a lot of them. And, I mean, Tuna Cycle is going to be our first commercial game. We need to, get that out of the door as soon as possible right now. We have plans on releasing maybe one or two more mobile games, again, smaller on scope, while we're working on something bigger. So our goal is to have something that is at the end Kickstarter worthy, something that people will see on Kickstarter and they're like, man, this sounds like a really fun game. And these guys are just like trying to, get their dream going. So yeah, like I'm gonna spare a few bucks and just help them out and get some cool stuff on the rewards section too, right? So for this, we went back to that list, very big games. We wrote them all down on a whiteboard and we divide them by sections like Kickstarter worthy or like just gameplay worthy, difficulty level. How much would you like me personally, or Rafe or Alex would like to work on this particular game? And then we start voting and then like erasing the ones that didn't make the cut, of course. And then, yeah, we have a couple of ideas on the table right now. It's a matter of deciding which is the best for us, right? I mean, jumping from mobile to console, it's not that it's hard, but it's how much do you want to do? We can go crazy and say like, hey, let's make a multiplayer online game. That's not how things work, right? Oh yeah, our first game was Tuna Cycle, a very fun mobile game, and now we're making Destiny 3. I know 2 is not out yet, but by the time it's gonna be Destiny 3. So that's not how things work, right? So
Right.
we're looking at our possibilities and our all of our ideas. We actually have for next week. I'm gonna introduce three, maybe four different ideas that I'm very excited about, and I mean we're gonna discuss them as a group and think, okay, which is the game that we want to launch as a Kickstarter next year. So our goal is by around this time, 2017, we're gonna be launching our first game. We're gonna go to conventions and expos here, close to where we live, to showcase the games that we publish already and the games that we're working on for the future for that campaign, right? Trying to get like a crowd basically following us and checking out what we're doing and getting them excited about our product. And hopefully that's the dream, right? Like hopefully we'll get founded and we can continue making this crazy ride that we're on right now, right?
That's awesome. I'm really excited to play this game. I was sitting on the this is gonna be a weird story, but I was sitting on the toilet earlier today.
Down the toilet.
And I couldn't
Sitting on
like
the toilet.
I'm like, okay, I do like Endless Runners. I played the Rayman Endless Runner. I do have the Sonic Dash on my phone, and I was like, I don't want to play those. And then I was like, the only game I have on there, I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll play Solitaire. But like, I could totally see myself just playing this game. I really do, and I'm excited. I'm excited to support you guys. I'm excited when this game comes out to dive into it.
We appreciate it. And I had one of my tablets. I have a demo of the game, and my bus ride, as I told you already, takes me like 2 hours to get to work and from work. So I was on one of the buses, the one that takes the longest, around like 45 to minutes to an hour. And I was just like start playing, and like I missed my stop. Like I was so caught up into breaking my own high score that I missed my stop. I was like, no! It was just like I automatically died. I was like, no! I also lost my score. It was a bad situation. I was like, well, whatever. I guess let's go.
Oh, that's funny. Joe, you have that one last question there, the big one.
Oh, well, okay. This doesn't really have a whole lot to do with necessarily your game, but I guess we want to know what are your thoughts on VR? Like, how do you think this is going to work out? Do you think it's going to be something that'll actually be something a bunch of developers work towards, or do you think it'll something that just kind of die off in a couple of years?
So, we actually acquired a Oculus Rift dev kit, the first version. Want to say 2-ish years ago, maybe a little bit more. And we started playing around with it. We had this game idea that we think will work so well on VR, but again, it was like it is still really out of our scope. It's not something we can dive and just do. I mean, we don't want to make games that we just we think this can work and then we just did it and we like half-ass it and it's like it doesn't really work, right? We want to make a game that it's something that you're gonna enjoy, that you're not regretting spending the $5 or $10 or whatever it is that it's gonna cost, right? So that being said, I was turned off from VR for the longest time. I couldn't see. It's all about that killer app, right? Like we had the Wii Sports, and I mean, Kinect didn't really hit, but it had Kinect Sports, which was, it was kind of fun. So the future of VR, I think, is gonna be in good hands as long as they have that one game or the one experience that is gonna make everybody say like, this is what I need. Yep, I'm getting a VR right now, right? For me right now, as a gamer, I think if there's one game that I would love to play on VR, will be No Man's Sky. I mean, you port that to a Rift or a PlayStation VR, man, like that's that in my head. If it's gonna feel like Star Fox VR, what's better than that? Like
That'd be awesome.
it sounds like the best thing in the world. Yes. So I don't think it's gonna die. I think this year is gonna be really interesting for the future. It's gonna shape a lot. I think Sony's promising like 50 or something games
Yeah,
this year alone. I was like, man, that is a tall order. So,
especially if it's
well,
launching in the fall. 50 games is a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, they're saying like holidays. When did they say? Like, did they say December or November?
I think they said October.
Oh, October. So that's even sooner than that. Yeah, I mean, 50 games. How many are they gonna have a launch? How many are there gonna be before the end of the year? That's man. I think it's gonna be a tall order. I'm really interested to see what indie developers do though. I think they're gonna take VR to the next stage. I don't think first party studios are gonna do it. I don't think Sony is gonna have anything cool to show for VR. I don't think Activision or EA or Ubisoft even are gonna have anything cool to show. I think there's gonna be one indie developer like a guy like me. It's gonna come and it's just gonna knock it out of the park with this really incredible indie game, just like Jonathan Blow did with Braid, right? Like he basically put indie games in the map thanks to Braid.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think the future looks bright. I'm waiting for something though. I'm still waiting. I'm skeptical and
I'm
I
right.
need I need something. Yes.
I'm right there with you. I've like VR seems like a cool experience, but like I don't this I to me this is more along the lines of 3D of where people like the people with the money were excited for this thing and how it's going to work, but as far as like a mass consumer product, I don't like I think PlayStation may have the highest chance at success just because everybody already has a PS4. They don't need to upgrade it. You just have to buy the VR unit and the camera, and that's cheaper than Oculus and Vive. So
Yeah. It's still quite a bit of an entry point though. I don't think. I mean, $500 is not something that you just like throw
Right.
right,
and you like. All right, I just lost $500. I don't. I mean,
yeah, you could
it's
buy like 5 or 6 more retail games for that, or like
dude with $500 I can. I mean, I just quit my day job, right? So making indie games is gonna be my life full time from now on. So with $500, it's not as much as I was earning, but I can live with like $100 a month, like a very tight $100, but I can live with that on just like meals and stuff like that, right? And that helps me for like 5 months, right? Like $500 helps me live for 5 months.
Right.
So it's not, yeah, it's not something. It's not, even though it's the lowest, I think of them all. Because how much is the Vive?
It's
Vive's
like
like eight eight
it's like
hundred.
7 or 8. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
And that
and
one, the Vive's the most expensive, then
the most
Oculus.
expensive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
and
Oculus
then
is 600, is it?
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean,
and that's just
yeah,
for the headset. And if you don't have a good enough PC, you're gonna have to upgrade your PC for that as well, or buy
yeah.
one of the package deals for 1500 or whatever they are. So
the way I see this whole VR wars now, because I mean we're heading there too. Oh man, and I thought the console wars was bad, and it's gonna be even worse. I think for VR, if I had the money to spare, right? Not even to spare. If I had the money to throw, I will get an Oculus because I think I will get more out of having a very good high end PC than like having a PS4 plus the VR, right?
Mhm.
So I mean that's just my opinion. I I made the mistake of reading a book called Ready Player One, on which in the future the only thing that is good about the future is this very immersive virtual reality world that everybody goes into called the Oasis. And for that, you have like a VR goggles and some gloves that allow you to feel and interact with stuff in that world, right? So when I finished reading that book, I was like, oh damn it! See, now everything that comes out of VR, I'm gonna compare it to this book. Like
Yeah.
if you don't make something like this book, I'm not gonna care about what you're making, right? So yeah, I totally spoil VR for myself, sadly.
It's okay. It'll be fine. It's gonna work out.
One way or another.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean,
Ugh.
it's gonna be an interesting year. I think. I mean, 2016, at least by the end of the year, it's gonna be crazy, right? Because there's also rumors about or maybe they announced that already. The PlayStation 4.5, is it?
Yeah.
Was that announced already, or
It's rumored to be
it's rumor? Yeah.
whatever. So
And they also have the stupid NX stuff that apparently it's coming.
stupid.
I mean, not stupid because I like Nintendo stuff, but like I mean, this is gonna sound really sad. But if the NX comes out this year, I'm gonna be like, I can't afford one, so I'm gonna see everyone's like, oh, the NX is so much fun. Like, okay,
Oh, you better believe if NX comes out this year and I'm like poor as crap and Destiny comes out on the NX, I'm trading everything in. I'm just be like, I'm gonna play Destiny by myself on the Nintendo. Here you go.
I don't think you're gonna be alone though. I if Destiny comes out on the NX, man, a lot of people are gonna go to that. I can guarantee that. Yeah. I'll be one. If I can afford the next, I'll totally buy Destiny right now and just play it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, it's this interview went longer than I expected. It's awesome. It was
All right.
awesome. Oh, don't apologize. It was awesome. It was a great time. Adrian, I want to thank you personally for coming on. You know, we've been talking about this for a long time, and me and Joey I've been telling Joey, I'm like, dude, next week. This was last week. Next week, can't wait. And then a couple days ago, I'm like, Joey, Wednesday's gonna be so exciting. He's like, calm down, Corey. So I was.
Corey he's kind of reminds me of a puppy, I guess. He gets so excited for like the smallest things. I mean, not saying this was small. This was a really nice thing and really fun to do. But it's just like there'll just be a day we're just recording a regular podcast and Corey's just like, I'm so excited. And I'm like,
No,
calm
you know,
down.
I think that's a good thing. If I'm honest, like
No, it is.
this has been my last week at my day job, right? So, like every time I have to wake up really early to go to work to start with. Again, takes me 2 hours to get there. So, like I was on the bus. I think it was yesterday, and it was really dark out, and was just listening to music. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the intro for Mario Galaxy started playing on my iPod. And I was just like looking through the window. I was like, okay, I'm happy now. This is good. This is a good thing, right? Like, this is my last week of my day job. After this, I'm gonna be 100% going into indie development, and that's gonna be my life. And I'm listening to Mario Galaxy. It's a good time. So I got excited by something that's as silly as that too, right? So I mean, you have to get excited for stuff. You have to get pumped. Like,
Yeah.
for anything, doesn't matter. You find a penny on the floor, although I think pennies are discontinued, aren't they?
Not
You
in
find a
America.
quarter. Yeah, well, maybe here. You find a quarter on the floor. Yeah, that's amazing, right? So
Yeah.
just get excited for stuff. Everyone listening, just get excited for stuff.
Yeah. And you're living the dream. We're trying. We're trying.
Oh, and, I'm actually surprised. Like every time I see you guys posting a new video or a new episode or something new that you guys are doing, it's like, man, that's fantastic. Everything that you guys are doing. You have built this community as well on Facebook where people are always like sharing stuff and talking about Destiny or now the Division 2, right? So it's stuff like that. I'm just surprised with everything you guys have built. It's just fantastic. I really have to congratulate you all.
Thank you, thank you. It's been a really big group effort, and Joey, and I couldn't do it without Joey or Brian or Cameron or anybody else from other communities. Nerd Overdrive, who's the guest on this week's podcast. They've been a big supporter of us and everybody else that we talked to. So it's been it's been really exciting, but kind of almost humbling experience, because like you meet all these people who are trying to do the same thing, and it's fun to interact with them and share ideas and collaborate and stuff like that. So it's been a fun year. Has it been a year yet?
Yeah, I mean, about.
Yeah, so
your anniversary for the website wasn't it?
Yeah,
Months ago now,
the anniversary for the website was about 3 weeks ago. So it's been an exciting year. It's a lot of ups and downs, but we've got I see us climbing this mountain. It's just we're doing things. We're on a good path. I couldn't ask for better people to work with either. I told Joey, I'm like, Joey, do I tell you I appreciate you enough? He's like, shut up.
Like you said, twice a day.
It's at least twice a day, I think.
No, that's a good thing. I mean, if I want something for everyone to take out of this episode is, man, if you have a dream, just follow it. Just keep at it. It's gonna be hard. Sometimes you're gonna do stuff and people are not gonna like it, or you're gonna think that you may not be good enough for something. Just keep at it. Just keep on going. Things will come your way, and you're gonna attract the people that really like what you're doing, and that's what matters, right? Just if you're doing it, then you're already a step ahead of everyone else that is not doing anything.
Right. Well, thank you, Adrian, for joining us. You can find Adrian and his crew at thefrozenmachine.com, and you can also find them featured on our website at digitalnerdadvocates.com/thefrozenmachine. Tuna Cycle comes out real soon. I'm really excited to play it. Support them. Go check out this trailer, and it looks amazing. I've already told you that a few million times, but I really appreciate you coming on, and me and Joey both really appreciate you coming on the show. It's been awesome. This is our first interview, so I hope we did okay interviewing. So
no, thank you guys for having me. It's again, we've been talking about this for a while, and I'm just happy that we finally got together and did it. It's very exciting. I can't wait to come back later on talking about the next game that we're working on.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, we'll have to have you on after Tunacycle launches, and you can talk about all your success, and hopefully you don't get too famous to come back on here. But
now
and we'll talk about the future and just maybe just hang out and talk games in general.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching the Digital Nerd Advocates podcast. Hope you enjoyed this interview. It's going to be on our podcast and broken out in a separate video. So if you are watching it on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. And you can also find our podcast on iTunes. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow The Frozen Machine on Twitter and their website and Instagram. Your Instagram page is really awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Until next week, we're out.
See ya.